There is a new engineering job paying double what you make right now, and OpenAI just spent $4 billion on it. Most engineers haven't even heard the title yet. I'm not gonna waste your time. Let's get right into it. On May 11th, OpenAI launched a deployment company. It is a committed partnership between OpenAI and 19 leading global investment firms, consultancies, and system integrators. The partnership is led by TPG and is partnering with also companies well known like Goldman Sachs. It also went on to say that the acquisition with Tomorrow specifically will bring approximately 150 experienced forward deployed engineers and deployment specialists to the OpenAI deployment company from day one. A forward deployed engineer leaves the office and embeds into the customer's company, sits with their people, learns their mess, ships the AI into their real systems, and stays until it works in production. OpenAI's own CRO, Dennis Dresser, said customers can't get from pilot to production, so OpenAI will put its own engineers inside their teams with the resources to be able to ship. At launch, the company was already valued at $14 billion. It was only bought $4 billion. And the outside investors were guaranteed a minimum return of 17.5%. OpenAI didn't spend $4 billion because the model is weak. It spent it because the model is done, and they're waiting for companies to figure out how to use the model. Here is the number that explains everything. MIT's NANDA initiative studied 300 enterprise AI projects. 95% showed no measurable impact on profits using AI. None. The model aren't the problem. They're good. The deployment is. So the money flows to whoever closes that gap. OpenAI built something that looks less like a model and more like a company called Accenture, the giant consulting firm that companies pay to make technology actually work inside their walls. The gap between a brilliant model, which we already have, and a working deployment is not the most valuable real estate in tech. You might look at it and say, oh, it's just one company doing this. Then you look at who did the same thing 6 days earlier, and you're like, this is a pattern. On May 4th, Anthropic, Blackstone, Hellman and Friedman, and Goldman Sachs announced the formation of a new AI services company. The organization will work with mid-sized companies across sectors to bring Claude into their most important operations. Applied AI engineers, just a different name, from Anthropic will work alongside the firm's engineering team to identify where Claude can have the most impact, build custom solutions, and support customers over the long term. And then Google, hiring the same role across regions and continents under the same applied AI banner. So 3 companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, who launched the same new role 8 days apart. So when all 3 frontier companies independently spend millions on the same job, that job basically becomes the industry standard. But one might say, well, 3 companies copying each other still isn't proof that this deployment template works. So here's the part that ends that argument for you. They didn't invent this job. They copied a company that's run it for 15 years. And that company just posted some record-breaking numbers that should scare every desk engineer watching. The forward deployed engineer is Palantir's invention. It says here, it was not designed in a boardroom. It was invented by Palantir in the early 2010s out of necessity when their intelligence agency customers could not openly share what they needed. To explain this a little bit more, Palantir embedded engineers with customers. These engineers worked closely with analysts and operators. They observed the way work was done and constructed tools to make it better for their customers. This approach was the basis of the forward deployed engineer model. Over the years, it scaled throughout the company until around 2016, Palantir had more forward deployed engineers than traditional software engineers. For years, Wall Street called this company a fake software company. Too many humans, margins too thin, said it would never scale like a real software company. Then Palantir's Q1 2026 numbers just landed. 85% total revenue growth year over year. US government revenue up 84%. If you aren't aware, Palantir was actually effectively born out of the NSA and CIA world in about 2003. So the too expensive model is now the fastest growing one in enterprise software. The humans were never the weakness, they were actually the asset. OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google watched Palantir get rich doing exactly this, and they're now spending billions to copy that. Your desk coding job didn't lose to a model. It lost to a business model. So the job is real and it's proven and it pays well, which leaves the one question that decides your next 2 years plan. If it's open and paying really well and double, why can't you get it? First is the pay gap. OpenAI's forward deployed engineer runs roughly $350,000 to $550,000. Anthropic's applied AI engineer pays from $300,000 to $550,000. And it passes $600,000 at the staff and principal levels. That's close to double to a standard senior software engineering package. But the only caveat is it requires up to 50% traveling. And the required skills aren't just coding. They are, for example, from Anthropic's job description demands, production LLM experience, advanced prompt engineering, agent development, evaluation frameworks, RAG, and deployment at scale, which is what the daily work basically is going to look like. The second reason why you aren't able to get in for that job is basically the filter, the ATS, the resume screening software that is sitting between you and the recruiter matching keywords. The job postings say forward deployed, applied AI, evaluation frameworks, again, pilot to production, customer facing. Your resume says build scalable microservices, optimized backend latency. Describe an excellent engineer, but only one clears the filter. And that's something flexible you can fix tonight. I know what you're thinking. This is not keyword stuffing. It's just relabeling your work that you've done in the past. So take a look at the public job postings for the forward deployed engineer, take their keywords and apply them to your resume. You have done the work. You just have to use the right terminology. The second thing you can do when you don't have the experience is to gain an actual skill set for that forward deployed engineer role. And you can do that in 90 minutes tonight. Go ahead and open Claude. Paste this prompt. You are my deployment partner. We're embedding, name a real model such as Opus 4.8, GPT 5.5 into a real workflow at your current company. Could be SDLC, software development lifecycle. Act as a forward deployed engineer. Walk me through in order, 1, the single highest value use case and why. 2, the data and RAG pipeline it needs. 3, the evaluation suite that catches failure before production. 4, the integration risks with our legacy systems. 5, the rollout plan and the one metric that proves it worked. Ask me one question at a time when you need details about our environment. Let it interrogate you. Answer like it's a real client. And in 90 minutes, you can walk away with a one-page deployment plan for a real use case at your own company. That is the precise artifacts that an FDE interview asks for. And UCO is about to pay OpenAI's deployment company a fortune to do that inside your company. Do it yourself first and show it to your CEO and basically keep your job. If you want to stay ahead of these internal corporate moves, you'll need the data that I'm sharing and dropping every single week. If you like this video, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you won't miss them out. It's the only way to make the algorithm keep you in the loop while your company is trying to get you out of it. And as a thank you for making it this far, meet Caden, the only member of this household with zero anxiety about AI replacing him, and nobody's forward deploying him anywhere. If you're looking for more ways to defend your role and stay relevant in this crazy market, I've linked the video at the end of this video for what you can do next.